My dad, my son-in-law, and changed my very life. For my daughter now became my mother since she became my father's wife. I have not said no to any work. Any opportunity has come my way, I have done it. Be it a waiter, be it a padha-likha sport boy, be it I was a detective for a year before joining the army. Like Sherlock Holmes, the hat on, the pipe, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I would stammer and stutter as a child. Okay, I had this big problem of stammering and stuttering and lisping, and I had a very, very squeaky voice, and nobody wanted to be friends with me as a child.
This is a podcast about unraveling, understanding, and unboxing human behavior through conversations with people who've made some unconventional choices, taken some hard decisions, and are committed to living up to their highest potential by making a difference in the world. This is Unbox with Tanvi. Today I have with me a very interesting person who wears so many hats that it's hard to count. He's a defense analyst, an army veteran, an actor, a YouTuber. He's a motivational speaker and holds the record for the highest number of TED Talks in the world. Please welcome Major Dr. Muhammad Ali Shah.
Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you very much. What an honor to be speaking to you here.
No, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'm very curious to find out, you wear so many hats. Like I said, on the one hand, defense analyst, army veteran, and on the other hand, you've done movies like Tashkent Files and you've been in Heather. And so I just want to find out, what does it take to wear all of these hats and how do you make your peace with it?
Well, Tanvi, it's a very interesting question. Actually, I've seen a lot of failures in life. Yeah, मैं बहुत बार गिरा हूँ each time I've tried something and it hasn't worked well for me. So I said, okay, let me not give up. Because there's this famous poem, don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but have to sigh. When care's pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, and all of us sometimes learn. And many a person turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out.
Is that your motto in life?
That's my motto in life, yeah. In fact, the motto of my school is never give in. Lawrence School, Lovedale. That's where I grew up all my life. So I felt कि ये try करते हैं, ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ. Now the most interesting thing I find when you spoke about defense analyst, मैं कोई defense analyst नहीं हूँ. I'll be very, very honest. मैं कोई strategist नहीं हूँ. A lot of senior people, very, very senior, they call me up and they ask me, what is your take on this? We heard you speak on television on this and you spoke so well. So I tell them, sir, actually I'll tell you the secret. मैं कोई strategist नहीं हूँ, मैं कोई analyst नहीं हूँ. मैं basically हूँ actor. Like what? हाँ sir, मैं वो acting करता, वो performance थी sir मेरी. So he said, यार वो performance देने के लिए भी you must have done some research, some background knowledge of it, कुछ reading करके आया मैं. हाँ वो तो मैंने किया. तो you are a strategist. So, no नहीं sir, मैं हूँ actor. वो मैं strategist बनने की acting करता हूँ वहाँ पे.
Is that what's kept you going?
Yeah, so what's kept me going is I have a lot of energy in me. Courtesy the soda that I keep drinking, the irritated drinks I keep drinking. So energy इतनी अंदर है क्या ये try किया ये भी करना है वो भी करना है. And I'm a very greedy person by nature. I'll not say greedy, actually I'll say, how do I say, very hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah, greedy, yeah, hungry. I would rather say, as someone said, stay hungry, stay foolish. So I feel that I'm a learner. I'm a confident learner. I like to learn. I like to observe people. I love to read. Viewers, just sometime back you're talking about Twitter pe ya Instagram pe, they scroll and they read. The smell of books, of hard paper, hard-bound paper, it still gives me high. I can imagine it, now. So I like to learn. I like to observe. And I like to explore. Yeah, I like to explore a lot. कि ये भी try करो. It's not that, and ऐसा नहीं है कि I did something, I gave it up and I tried something else. Simultaneously, I've done many things at the same time. And my other motto is, the best way to do too many things is to do one thing at a time. जब मैं फौजी था तो पूरा ध्यान मेरा फौज के ऊपर था. जब मैं IIMs गया तो पूरा ध्यान मेरा पढ़ाई पे था. When I worked in the corporate sector, I was totally... I started working in 1998 as a waiter at one of the small restaurants in Pune near my college, where I would earn my own pocket money and I would get a chance to pay my own college fees by the money that I've earned. I would take a lot of pride in that. I started modeling, and I realized the money in modeling was much, much more than I would make here.
As a waiter?
Yeah, the waiter. Then I switched over to modeling. फिर एक दिन बड़ा अच्छा खूबसूरत वाकया है ये 1998 only towards the end. Saeed Mirza had come to our college and he was shooting with a full film crew and all. I was very enamored by the cameras and I was very jealous of the actor who was playing that. उसमें ऐसा क्या बात है वो लीड रोल कर रहा है उससे अच्छा मैं एक्टिंग कर लूँ I would feel that way but ऐसा नहीं है but a lot of craft he must have studied which I did not. So I went to Saeed Mirza. I said, sir मेरे को आपकी फिल्म में एक रोल चाहिए. तो he said, बेटा आई हैव डन द कास्टिंग months earlier. अब तो हम एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हैं. So I said, but I want to मेरे को जुड़ना है आपके साथ. So I would be the spot boy on the set. I would hold the camera, bipod, tripod, reflectors, सबको चाय पानी पिलाना set पे. He observed me for 4 days. Then he called me, son, come here. I'm seeing your passion and you are driven. I have a role for you. करोगे? चलेगा? मैं चलेगा नहीं सर दौड़ेगा बताइए मेरे को क्या रोल है. He said, देखो सीढ़ी पे हीरो यहाँ पे खड़ा हुआ है तुमको पीछे से गुजरना है बस. वी नीड अ फिलर, वी नीड अ पासिंग शॉट. वो करोगे? मैं सर बिल्कुल करूँगा. पक्का? मैं सर पक्का. एंड अब वो रोल मैंने किया वो अभी भी यूट्यूब पे है बाय द वे 98 का. ओके इट्स देयर वेरी मच एंड आई टेक प्राइड इन दैट. दैट्स माय मोस्ट मेमोरेबल शॉट ऑफ अ फिल्म आई वुड से. सो उसमें वो 3 सेकंड में आई वुड हैव पास बाय बट मैं थोड़ा फुटेज खाई और मैंने 5 सेकंड में किया.
But you use the word passion. And how important do you think passion is or has been in your journey?
Very important. I think if you're passionate about something, if you're driven, अंदर से आपको आवाज़ आ रही है तो बच्चे को बोलो पढ़ाई कर लो उसको इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है माँ बोलती रही पढ़ाई कर लो. बट इफ अ चाइल्ड और एनी पर्सन इज मोटिवेटेड फ्रॉम इनसाइड कि यार मेरे को करना है ये तो वो passion is very
because
important.
From your story my takeaway is that because you were passionate about exploring or you were curious about acting and you wanted to put your foot in the door, you were willing to take up a small role of just walking in the background and you didn't consider it small.
No. Till today I have never considered any work big or small. I just want work is work. That's another reason when you have asked me that how come you've done so much. I have not said no to any work. Any opportunity has come my way, I have done it. Be it a waiter, be it a pada likha spot boy, be it I was a detective for a year before joining the army. So I used to crack cases and all. My wife was when we were engaged, she was like, "What? You're a detective? Like Sherlock Holmes, the hat, all the pipe, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, So I was like, yeah. So I have done. चाहे फौज में गया मैं. So I have done all kinds of. I've been a director. I've done theatre. I've directed a very big production, Fiddle on the Roof. So
multiple roles you've played.
Yeah. So whatever work has come my way, I've done it.
So I think there's a huge amount of humility in taking an opportunity at face value and giving it your best shot, irrespective of what it may seem like in the what others may judge as big or small. You've not gone down that road at all.
बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. Even
that's beautiful.
If I have to go under my car and go down and grease my hands, I'll do it. And I have to have a business meeting after that in 3-piece suit.
Then I'll do that as well.
हाँ वो भी कर लेंगे. Versatile तो है.
So tell me, you come from a long line of you've got. मैं बोलती हूँ ना जैसे कई बारी बरगद के पेड़ के नीचे किसी चीज़ को भी उगने के लिए बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. एंड यू गॉट योर फादर वाज अ लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल, योर ग्रैंडफादर वाज इन द सिविल सर्विसेज, योर अंकल इज द वेटरन एक्टर Nasiruddin Shah. Do you ever feel the pressure of or the burden of the legacy that you carry?
Good question again. See, मैं ऐसा मानना है कि इंसान किस खानदान में पैदा होता है ये ज़रूरी नहीं है. इंसान खुद क्या करता है ये बहुत ज़रूरी है. And legacy is not something to boast about. It's something to live up to. So yes, they are icons in my senior generation, my father, and they are big, huge. In fact, I was ADC to my dad, by the way. When he was
at some point?
Yeah, when he was commanding a corps. So he was a lieutenant general sahab, my captain sahab tha, and he was sir to me, my mother was ma'am. I never went to the house ever. I mean, ADC is meant to be like the son. यहाँ पे ADC खुद ही बेटे थे. And everyone knows. I mean, सब जानते थे. Z.U. Shah, that's my dad, and I was M.A. Shah. So it was a very interesting tenure and a great learning for life, golden tenure of my life. And my father was very strict, of course. General Shah was very strict with me, in fact.
Is that why you got? Is that why you joined the army?
Well, yeah, it was there. I'll be very, very honest. Let me be very honest with you. It was there in my back of my mind. I'll be very honest. Because there was one General Samantre. General Samantre's son was Ashish, was his ADC. Just before I joined the academy, I knew the story. And MacArthur's son was his ADC, in fact. I must bring this issue up. Yes, much talked about nepotism. ये बहुत इसमें बहुत बात होती है. खास, I don't think there can be a better person more qualified than me to talk about this. I'll tell you why. And I will tell you why. The term nepotism was coined in the mid-17th century from Italy, when the fathers, bishops, popes who had sworn chastity, they would not get married. So obviously they would not have their own santan, right? Heir to their property. So they would give their precious belongings to their nephews. So nepoto in Italian it means nephew. So वहाँ से term coin हुआ.
What an interesting story.
And from there, people started misusing it. Like, किसी को एक पोजीशन, गवर्नमेंट पोजीशन में पहुंचा दिया या वो जॉब दिला दी. अब now I am the own original nephew of नसीर साहब, which you mentioned, right? जब मैं NSD के लिए ट्राई कर रहा था 2001 में, Pankaj Tripathi, the famous actor, and I were together. We are old friends, and Pankaj got through NSD. I didn't get through NSD 2001. He said, कोई बात नहीं ली भाई, आप दोबारा ट्राई करेगा, हम तुम्हारे सीनियर होंगे सेकंड ईयर में, हम खूब रैगिंग करेंगे. Ab now, I didn't, and Nasir Saab that time was in the committee. He could have influenced a lot of things for me had he wanted. Or rather, had I asked him for it. I didn't even ask him once. I trained under him, I did workshop with him. In fact, Shahid Kapoor, Randeep Hooda, and myself, we were in the same class.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, he would teach us, and we were together in the same class learning from him in 2001. Kunal Kapoor also followed and he learned from Nasir Saab. Darshan Kumar, he's been part of Nasir Saab.
So when you applied to the NSD, you didn't get through?
I didn't get through. I tried twice for NSD and I didn't get through. Today I was speaking to Aryan Bedi, he's a friend of mine, the former Grafson Minister in India. So Aryan also tried twice, he tells me. Manoj Bajpayee tried for NSD 3 times. So then I tried for Jamia Millia Islamia Mass Communication. लोगों ने बोला कि भाई NSD तुम
ऐसे नहीं तो वैसे.
तो Jamia में also I didn't get through. Then I joined the Short Service Commission, thinking I will not join the army. I'll join the special forces, the para commandos. And I'll train, I'll do and forge Desh Bhakti Bhavna sab mein. Then plus, it'll pay you and train you in learning skills like life skills, like horse riding and polo, deep water diving, mountain climbing, rock climbing, hang gliding, adventure sports, water sports, parasailing, parajumping, paratrooping, you name it. And you come out, I'm Captain Muhammad Ali Shah, Captain क्या मैं मेजर साहब बन के बाहर आया.
So, I was reading and we were speaking earlier as well that when you were training, when you were in Chennai and you were training in the Officer Training Academy, you flunked a couple of times. What did you flunk? And how did you keep yourself motivated to unflunk yourself?
Good one. Okay, I'll give a bit background to this. It's been a habit of flunking actually. Let me tell you how.
See, NSD twice you've already told me flunking. Jamia once you've told me.
Yeah. So class 5th ke baad, I tried for the Doon school. My parents had registered me when I was 3 months old. I flunked the entrance test. I went for a debate. I would stammer and stutter as a child. Okay, I had this big problem of stammering and stuttering and lisping, and I had a very, very squeaky voice, and nobody wanted to be friends with me as a child. So I had a very complex childhood as well. Maybe I went to a boarding school. So when I was class 7th mein tha, my 13th birthday was just approaching, and I forgot my line on stage. And I was going to recite this poem, Pushp Ki Abhilasha, by Makhanlal Chaturvedi.
I remember.
चाह नहीं मैं सुर बाला के गहनों में गूंदा जाऊं, चाह नहीं प्रेमी माला में बिन प्यारी को ललचाऊं, मुझे तोड़ लेना वन माली उस पथ पर देना तुम फेंक, मातृभूमि पर शीश चढ़ाने जिस पथ जाएं वीर अनेक. So how do I remember it? Good one. So मैं इसी कविता को मैं भूला था स्टेज पे. I said ऐसी गलती अब दोबारा नहीं होगी. And today you talk to me about, and I have worked very hard on myself. I have to admit, I have worked very hard. I had this passion and determination कि अभी मैं अटक के बातें करता हूँ. I lisp, I had a very bad squeaky voice, and ऐसी गलती नहीं होगी दोबारा.
You worked on your voice, you worked on your...
I worked very hard.
You still remember after how many years? You still remember the poem?
अरे याद रही तो आप ये सुनिए ना. I am my own grandpa. It sounds funny, I know, but really so. I am my own grandpa. Let me explain to you how. Oh, many, many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was as pretty as could be. Now, this widow had a grown-up daughter who had hair so red that my father fell in love with her, and soon the two were wed. Now, this made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life, for my daughter now became my mother since she became my father's wife. Now, to complicate the matter, though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncy baby boy. Now, this little baby of mine then became a brother-in-law to dad, and so became my uncle, for it made me very sad. For if this little baby of mine was my uncle, then that made him the brother of the widow's grown-up daughter, who of course by now was my stepmother. My father's wife then had a son who kept them on the run, and he became my grandchild, for he was my stepdaughter's son. My wife is now my stepmother's mother, and it makes me blue. Because although she is my wife, she is my grandmother too. Now, if my wife is my grandmother, then obviously I am a grandchild. And every time I think of this, by God, it nearly drives me wild. For now I have become the strangest case you ever saw. As husband of my own grandma, I am my own grandpa. It sounds funny and complicating, I know, but really so. Thank you. So, agar ye bhi yaad kar lo. So I learned tongue twisters, okay?
To help yourself,
yeah, to help
and
myself.
to improve your skills in speaking. But I think, yeah, it just goes to show the amount of dedication that you've put in to master a skill that you not only didn't have, but you were below par, and you've like really built that up. I think it's commendable. It's really, really commendable. And I think it'll give heart to so many kids out there who may be struggling with a similar issue, but seeing you will give them hope that, it can be done. So I'm really glad we spoke about this, and I'm glad you shared. I do want to ask you though, what would the 40-year-old Major Muhammad Ali advise a 20-year-old Muhammad Ali?
Right. First thing, nothing is impossible. We are what are we? We are a mere reflection of our thoughts. There's a photograph of a cat looking into a mirror. And what does this cat see? It sees a lion. So if you have to think larger than life for yourself, अगर आप अपने आप को बिल्ली की तरह देख रहे हो तो आप बिल्ली ही रहोगे. चूहा देख रहे हो, you will feel like a chua. Okay, let me ask 5 simple questions, okay? Rapid fire round. I know you are interviewing me,
fine.
but
You give me the rapid fire.
Yeah. In a jungle, very simple, okay? In a jungle, which is the fastest animal in the jungle?
Cheetah.
Cheetah, very well answered. Which is the tallest animal?
Giraffe.
Which is the largest animal?
Elephant.
Which is the most clever animal?
Fox.
Which is the most beautiful animal?
Peacock.
Well, somebody would say giraffe, somebody will say lion. So
something that's
deer,
subjective.
yeah, exactly. Somebody will say tiger. Subjective. Now, this animal is not the fastest, not the tallest, not the largest, not the most intelligent. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. Some people may not perceive it to be the best looking as well. But yet, this animal is the king of the jungle. Why? There's a logic to it. Why? It feels like a king. It has the right attitude, the mentality. It never gives up. It hunts. It rules. So you have to feel like a king. So in academy, when I kept failing for my, coming back to your previous question, when I kept failing in my drill square test, marching test, in 1987, my sister was chosen from a school to go for the Republic Day parade. Now my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, my Nana, passed away on 23rd January 1987. So we went off to our hometown for his burial, so she couldn't participate in the parade. One of my uncles, he was in the Armored Corps. He was leading the Armored Corps contingent. And we all saw him on Doordarshan. Major Mir Ahmad Shah commanding the Armored Corps contingent. And it was like very inspiring. Since then, it was back of my mind. And Brigadier Jasdev Singh was a commentator, very popular commentator that time. And Brigadier Samant. So we used to hear their commentary and we used to feel like, wow, we want to be like this. And then in academy, when I kept failing for my drill square test, in my marching, I thought I was reasonably okay. I'd done NCC in college. I'd come from a military school. So in my midterm break, I wasn't allowed to go home. I stayed back in academy.
Because you'd failed the drill test.
And I got extra drills, punishments. 4th attempt, 5th attempt, 6th attempt, fail. I was marched up to my commandant, who read my report card. Dossier, you called it in French. He said, son, you're doing so well. You are doing very good in firing and running.
But what about drill test?
Drill test. You're feeling consistently. I said, sir, because obviously my father said, do well in academy, make us proud. And the most important advice he gave me was, always keep your performance consistent.
So I'm consistently failing.
He laughed. He said, halwa chap yaar, isko pass karo, come on, dhake maro isko. Push up karo. Whole night I was doing push-ups.
How important is consistency, you feel, in life to succeed?
It is very important. Yeah, I mean, look at Shah Rukh Khan. He's been consistent. I mean, with his performance, he's been giving. He's had to work very hard to keep that position where he is.
But I think there's a lot of dedication that you post consistently on social media, put out videos. I'm sure it's not as easy as it seems. It requires a certain amount of commitment, right?
Yeah, one is that, and see, like Rome wasn't built in a single day.
So you have to just keep at it.
You have to be at it. You have to keep on going, and and aapko diwar todni. Manji, the mountain man, he kept digging through the mountain.
Chip away, chip away, chip away. So tell me one thing. What do you have a mantra to stay consistent? Is there a goal that drives you or guides you?
My Bible for my life has been a poem I read in school. Rudyard Kipling's If. Favorite poem of everyone's, almost everyone. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you but make allowance for the doubting too. If you can dream and not make dreams your master. If you can think but not make thoughts your aim. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Or bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. Or watch the things you gave your life to, broken. And stoop and build them up with one or tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss. And lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and snoot to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowd and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distant run, yours is the earth. And everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Right? That's been my mantra. That poem has helped me in good stead, and I've always believed in every single word written by Rudyard Kipling in that.
Thank you so much for this inspiring conversation. And I think it was such a beautiful note to wrap up this conversation, because every word of that poem truly is motivational and it drives you to do better and not give up. So I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much. This is Unbox with Tanvi, and we'll see you on another episode.